What's it like now? Dealing with all this attention? The pressure? It's definitely a lot of pressure, but I try to stay grounded. I surround myself with good people, and I just try to stay true to myself. 2.3 million dislikes. That's not backlash. That's a hater base, a dedicated one, and it hasn't gone anywhere. It's only grown. Because Rachel Zegler, she didn't stay quiet. Disney made a decision, but they didn't announce it. No trailer, no poster, no red carpet. After 2 years of hype, controversy, and relentless PR damage control, Snow White disappeared. No streaming release, no global rollout, nothing. And now? Industry insiders are whispering. It wasn't a delay. It was a quiet cancellation. Because when the release date came and went, Disney didn't say a word, not a post, not a press release, not even a tweet. Why? Because of one name they can't afford to defend anymore. Rachel Zegler. It's lonely. Really lonely. But if that loneliness can exist, then so can other things. I'll be okay. Maybe that's a weird takeaway. This isn't meant to be cruel. It's meant to be honest, insightful, real. And Rachel Zegler? She has kept it real. But after the Evita blow-up in London, sources say the studio hit its limit. One exec reportedly called her a ticking PR time bomb. Disney, they said, wasn't just hesitant. They were scared. Scared to give her more screen time, even on streaming. With Rachel Zegler trending, for all the wrong reasons, Disney finally made the call. The risk just wasn't worth it. Backstage drama, cast walkouts, and a $50 million lawsuit against her own agent. What started as a high-profile remake is now surrounded by silence. Fans aren't just worried anymore. They're wondering if Snow White will ever see the light of day. Why? Because of everything Rachel Zegler kept saying to anyone who would listen. She's been labelled a walking PR disaster, and it didn't start with the lawsuit or the drama. It started with the interviews. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and it shows. There's this weird obsession with her love story, like with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. Fans weren't just upset, they were insulted. A story beloved for generations, dismissed with a smirk. Then came the red carpet moments, not for fashion, but for tone. Sarcastic, cold, dismissive. The actress, once hailed as Spielberg's next big star, now looked to many like she didn't want to be there at all. And early supporters, they started pulling back. The cartoon is 85 years old. It's dated. We reimagined it. Now fairest of them all means something else. Who's the most just? Who can lead? Snow White has to step into her power before she can rule. Online, fans said she sounded ungrateful, out of touch with the very audience she was meant to inspire. And behind the scenes, it was worse. Multiple sources from past productions had quietly raised the alarm. Zegler was difficult to direct, hyper-controlling, and often in open conflict with senior crew. One assistant director from a previous set described her as relentlessly combative, especially with male leadership. Another called her brilliant, but exhausting. Still, Disney pressed forward. They believed the backlash would pass, that a carefully crafted PR arc, a redemption tour, might silence the noise. It didn't. This has been the biggest adjustment of my life. People think I'm either failing or thriving, and I don't think I'm doing either. Then came Evita. Her first major return to the stage. It was meant to be a comeback, a chance to prove she still had the star power, the poise, the magnetism. Instead, it ignited a media firestorm. Backstage reports painted a chaotic picture, walkouts, tense standoffs, screaming matches that spilled out into hallways. One rehearsal reportedly ended with 2 crew members quitting on the spot after Zegler allegedly berated a lighting tech for mistiming her entrance cue. Sources claim she stormed off mid-run-through when asked to repeat a scene that didn't match her personal interpretation. Leaked emails described the set as hostile, with one stage manager calling her presence unsustainable. Morale was collapsing, rehearsals stalled, tensions were boiling over. And unlike her Disney projects, there was no corporate safety net this time. No executive team scrambling to shield her, no PR firm spinning headlines, just Rachel, unfiltered, unguarded, and unraveling. That's when the narrative shifted, for good. This wasn't about feminism anymore, or fairy tales. It was about meltdowns, lawsuits, and a pattern of chaos. Even some of her loudest defenders went quiet, because it didn't look like she was being silenced. It looked like she wasn't listening. According to one Disney insider, Evita wasn't the breaking point. It was the confirmation. Rachel Zegler, they concluded, wasn't a PR hiccup. She was a long-term liability. According to multiple insiders, Disney executives called an emergency meeting, not because Snow White wasn't finished, not because of budget problems or technical delays, but because of something far riskier, another Rachel Zegler headline. At that moment, Snow White, a remake once positioned as a Disney Plus tentpole, went dark. No cancellation, no statement, no post from the official Disney account. Just silence. Industry sources revealed that the film was quietly scrubbed from Disney's internal release slate. One internal memo reportedly included a single line, "Hold indefinitely, pending talent resolution." Translation: the film's in limbo until the situation with Zegler is resolved. Privately, executives were panicked. Every time Rachel Zegler trended, it wasn't for her talent. It was for controversy. Every interview clip was a PR minefield, every red carpet moment a potential scandal. One former Disney communications staffer put it bluntly, "She's a press liability, full stop." And now, releasing Snow White wouldn't just invite attention, it would invite questions. Why did Disney stand by her? What did they know and when? Why weren't there safeguards in place? So the new internal strategy was simple: silence. All marketing materials were shelved, no press tour planned, no international rollout scheduled, no licensing deals. Retail partners were told to stand down on merchandise. Even internal staff were issued guidance: don't mention Snow White in meetings, don't pitch around it, don't bring it up to press. And as Zegler remained entangled in public feuds, online spats, and a $50 million lawsuit involving her former agent, that silence only deepened. Because behind closed doors, Disney has learned a harsh truth. Every time Rachel Zegler speaks, the internet listens. And not in the way they want. They're not just worried about a film anymore. They're worried about something bigger. The brand. And when your brand is built on magic, optimism, and family-friendly fantasy, you can't afford a headline storm. Not like this. In the last 2 years, Disney has weathered storm after storm: political boycotts, franchise fatigue, underperforming blockbusters, stock dips, and growing skepticism around Disney Plus. Through it all, Snow White was supposed to be the safe bet, a guaranteed win. Nostalgic, familiar, globally recognized. Instead, it's become radioactive. Production delays, endless script rewrites, the Missing Dwarfs controversy, accusations of forced progressive messaging, and at the center of every firestorm, Rachel Zegler. What began as a bold reimagining quickly turned into a branding nightmare. The studio hoped the heat would cool, that with time the backlash would fade. But then came the Evita debacle, the backstage walkouts, the leaked footage, the lawsuit with her former agency, and the quote that wouldn't go away: "I don't need a prince to save me." A line meant to empower. Instead, it became a rallying cry for critics. Behind closed doors, Disney executives asked the unthinkable: if we release this movie, are we doing more harm than good? The answer, according to internal sources, was unanimous: yes. Marketing teams raised red flags. If we platform her now, the press won't focus on the movie. It'll be on her. In today's media climate, where every quote becomes a headline and every premiere becomes a referendum, Disney made a calculated decision: silence. No trailer, no teaser poster, no cast appearances, no press junket, not even a tweet. The original release date passed quietly, no fanfare, no update, no apology, and fans noticed. Reddit threads exploded, TikTok breakdowns went viral. One tweet summed it up perfectly. Disney saw the Evita meltdown and said, "Never mind." The fallout was polarizing. Some fans celebrated the silence, calling it accountability. Others accused Disney of cowardice. But the loudest voices asked the question Disney still hasn't answered: why pretend nothing happened? Because internally, sources say, the debate isn't over. Some executives are pushing for a full-scale re-edit, removing Zegler entirely. Others say it's time to cut losses and shelve the project for good. Hundreds of millions spent, years of development, a legacy remake now seen as untouchable. And the lead actress? Once hailed as the future of the studio, now viewed as unmarketable. The audience has spoken. They've lost trust in the story, and they don't want to see her face on the poster. Not now. Maybe not ever. Absolutely. In the end, this wasn't just about a film. It was about trust, image, and what happens when a fairy tale becomes a cautionary tale. Because in today's world, no brand is too big to stumble, and no star is too untouchable to fall. But what do you think? Was Disney right to go silent? Should Snow White be saved or scrapped for good? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, the truth behind the headlines, the drama, and the decisions no one else wants to talk about, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious.